Now we're going to add and subtract rational expressions. So we're going to add and subtract fractions with the same denominator. So this is not the hardest part of the course, just the next lesson is. But if you can handle this, you're going to be okay. In regular fractions, we add them like this. 3 11ths plus 5 11ths. So today is just all common denominators. I mean the same denominator. So now I have 3 11ths and 5 11ths. I add them, I get 8 11ths. If we have the same denominator, I just put it down. I don't go add 11 11 and get 22. So that's how I add fractions. So now the only thing different we're doing is going sideways. So I have 3 11ths plus 5 11ths. I ask one question. Do I have the same denominator? Yes. I put it down. Instead of saying add or subtract, we're just going to say combine like terms. So 3 plus 5 is 8. Combine like terms, I get 8 11ths. So hopefully no big deal. Here we go. Let's say I have 5y over 14 plus 2y over 14. I asked the question, first of all, it's adding and subtracting fractions. That means I got to deal with common denominators. So I asked, do I have the same denominator? Yes. I put it down. I combine like terms. 5y and 2y is 7y. So I get 7y divided by 14. I always look at my answer to see if I can simplify in any way. And remember, I can cancel in division factors, not terms. Factors are things that are multiplied. So I see this is a times. 7's a factor, y is a factor. So I'm allowed to cancel factors. 7 into 7, 1. 7 into 14, 2. So I get y divided by 2. All right, let's say I have 17x over 25 plus 3x over 25. I ask the same question. Do I have the same denominator? Yes. 25. Combine like terms. 17x plus 3x is going to give me 20x. I look at my answer, see if there's anything I can do. I have factors. I'm allowed to simplify my 20 and 25. 5 into 24, 5 into 25, 5. So my answer is going to be 4x over 5. So hopefully easy. All right, let's do another one. 2a over 3 minus a over 3. I have the same denominator. I put it down. I combine like terms. 2a minus 1a. My answer is just a over 3. Easy. The only thing is you can't get confused and start adding denominators. You got to remember, if I have the same common denominator, I put it down. All right, we'll put a letter in the denominator. 2 over y plus 5 over y. Do I have the same denominator? Yes. I put it down. Combine like terms, no big deal, 7 over y. All right, we'll do a subtraction, and we'll add an exponent. 6x over y squared minus 2x over y squared. I wanted this to be an x. Okay. So now, do I have the same denominator? Yes. Y squared. Combine like terms. 6x minus 2x is 4x. Can't cancel or factor anything. My answer is 4x over y squared. All right, one more of this type. Let's say I have 9 over 4xy minus 7 over 4xy. I have the same denominator. I put it down. 4xy. I subtract, combine like terms. 9 minus 7 is going to give me a 2. So now I look and I have to ask myself, can I cancel the 2 with the 4? 2 is all by itself, so hey, it could be a factor or a term. This one is the one I worry about. I have to decide whether 4 is a factor or a term. If it's a factor, I'm allowed to cancel it. If it's a term, I cannot. I see times, times. I'm allowed to cancel factors and division. So 2 into 2, 1. 2 into 4, 2. So now, my answer is 1 over xy. You can't forget the 1. All right, I'm going to give you 2 to do. And again, this is not, but you can always put this on pause. I want you to do these two. 8x over 9 minus 7x over 9. I think everybody will get that right. Then I want you to do this one. 7 over 10ab plus 3 over 10ab. And I think everybody will get that right too. So I'm just going to wait a couple seconds, but if you want, put it on pause. And then when you have it, just start it up again. And this is an x. So the first one, I get 8x minus 7x. I have the same denominator, 9. My answer is just x over 9. Easy. Second one, my common denominator is 10ab. Combine like terms. You're going to get a 10. I cancel my 10s. Now I'm going to put a star here because this is the one people get wrong. So now, if this was multiple choice, they're going to have AB, and they're going to have 1 over AB. So you have to decide which one's right. We're going to cancel so much that sometimes we don't bother putting the 1s, but you got to know it's really 10 into 10, 1. If something's a denominator, it stays a denominator. I just can't change 1 over AB to AB. So my answer has got to be 1 over AB. I can't just change the number 1/3 to the whole number 3. Okay, so here we go. Let's say I have 2x over x minus 2. So now for the first time we have a binomial for the denominator. Minus 4 over x minus 2. Again, hopefully no big deal. My common denominator, x minus 2. I combine like terms. So you can't make a mistake and combine this and get like minus 2x or 6x. I have to know that I cannot combine x's and numbers. So I just get 2x minus 4. Now, this is the hard part. I look at my answer and see if there's anything I can do, which means factor or cancel. And I'll probably say this 50 times till the end of the semester. I have to know if I can cancel those 2's, or I can cancel these x's, or if I can go 2 into 2, 1, 2 into 4, 2. I got to decide. If they're factors, I can cancel them. If they're terms, I cannot. Factors are things we multiply. Terms are things we add and subtract. I see this minus sign. This is a term, that's a term. Term, term. Now, I see this minus sign. This is stuck all together. 2x minus 4 is a factor, but I cannot cancel. So if I can't cancel from this day to the end of the course, you have to say to yourself, can I factor anything? Which means we have 3 types: greatest common factor, difference of 2 squares, or trinomial. So I should look at this and hopefully you see this is not a trinomial. I only have 2 terms. Can't be a trinomial. So I say, is it greatest common factor or difference of 2 squares? Well, some of you might still think it's difference of 2 squares. I got a minus, I got a 4. But remember, difference of 2 squares has to be all those special numbers I can take the square root of. 4, 16, 25, 81. I can't take the square root of 2 evenly. It can't be difference of 2 squares. So I go, oh, is it greatest common factor? Yes. And I can factor out 2 times x minus 2 over x minus 2. Now, can I cancel my x minus 2's? I ask the same question. Are they factors or terms? This is a times. That means this is a factor, This is stuck like glue as a factor all into itself. So I can cancel the x minus 2's. So my answer is going to be 2. All right, now this is just like the first one we're doing. We'll do a couple more. Let's say I have one like this. X minus y over 5 plus 4x plus y over 5. Do I have the same denominator? Yes. Combine like terms. So I'm not going to skip any steps. I'm going to take my x minus y from here. Now, I have a plus here. A plus keeps everything the same. So I'm going to have a plus 4x and a plus y. Combine like terms. I have an x and a plus 4x. I'm going to get 5x. Plus y minus y cancels out. So I'm left with 5x over 5. Now, I can't guess. I got to know. Can I cancel the 5's? If they're factors, I can cancel them. If they're terms, I cannot. So these are times, multiplied. Factor, factor. I'm allowed to cancel the 5's. So now my answer is just x. Okay, we're going to do one more. So let's see. Before I give you one to do, I've got 5x minus 2 divided by x squared plus 2x minus 15 minus 4x plus 1 divided by x squared plus 2x minus 15. Oops, sorry about that. So now, I ask myself, do I have the same denominator? The answer is yes. So I put it down. X squared plus 2x minus 15. Combine like terms. I have 5x minus 2 from here. But now this one's a little step up. I'll put a star because I have a minus. Remember in the beginning of the course, when I have a fraction, I have choice when I have a minus in front of a fraction. If I have minus a half, remember, I can write it as minus a half that way. I can put the minus in the middle. I can put the minus in the numerator. Or I can put the minus in the denominator. When I have one minus in front of a fraction, you can put it anywhere you want. Middle, numerator, denominator. This is important because it's going to come up over and over till the end of the course. When I'm working inside a problem, I always consider it in the numerator. So it's really minus that whole fraction. But inside this problem, I'm going to consider it in the numerator. So it's like distributive property. I have minus parenthesis, 4x plus 1 parenthesis. So you can think of it as distributing a negative 1. So I get minus 4x, but negative times plus, unlike signs, gives me negative 1. And tons of people mess that up. Then I do my thing. Combine like terms. So I'm going to get x minus 3 divided by x squared plus 2x minus 15. Then I look at my answer and see if there's anything else to do, which means cancel or factor. I'm not allowed to cancel x into x squared because I got term. Can't cancel anything. But I look and I go, can I factor? This is stuck together as a factor. I look at this. Hopefully you're all good at trinomials. So I factor this. I've got x. Minus means different signs. It's either 1 and 15 or 3 and 5, remember. And I go, which pair do I add or subtract to get a 2? Has to be 3 and 5. If I can remember, I'm going to take the bigger one, which is the 5, put it with the sign of the plus. So I got 5 and I got 3. I still have to check by FOIL to make sure. X times x is x squared. Minus 3x plus 5x gives me plus 2x. I get minus 15. So now that replaces that. So now I look at this and I go, I have x minus 3 here. I have an x plus 5 and an x minus 3. Can I cancel the x minus 3's? Well, if they're factors, I can. If they're terms, I can't. You're going to know these are factors because they're multiplied. This is all by itself. All together, that's a factor. It's made up of 2 terms, but I can cancel my x minus 3's. Now, after all that, is my answer x plus 5? Hopefully you said no, because this is a denominator. So my answer has to be 1 over x plus 5. Now, I just want to give you 4 to do before you do the homework. All right? 1. 8 divided by x minus 7 minus 5 divided by x minus 7. Everybody's going to get that right. All right? 2. 5x divided by x plus 2 plus 10 divided by x plus 2. Hopefully, everybody will get that right. All right, the last 2 are the hardest. All right, we got 2x minus y divided by 2y minus x minus 6y divided by 2y. Better leave lots of room for that one. And then one more. 7x plus 5 divided by x squared minus 4x minus 12 minus 6x plus 11 divided by x squared minus 4x minus 12. So now, if I was you, I would put this on pause. Do the 4 problems, and then we'll go over them. So, here we go. Hopefully you put it on pause and you try them. All right, the first one. My common denominator is x minus 7. So I write that down, x minus 7. Combine like terms. I get 3 over x minus 7. Everybody should have got that right. All right? Second one. X plus 2. Combine like terms. You get 5x plus 10. That's great. You're just not done. Because every time I look at my answer from now to the last day of the course, we got to always think, can I cancel anything or factor anything? Well, I can't cancel my x's because that's a term. I can't go 2 into 2, 1, 2 into 10, 5 because they're terms. So, when in doubt, always think, can I factor? I can factor my numerator, common factor. So I get 5 times x plus 2 over x plus 2. I can cancel my x plus 2's. So my answer is going to be 5. All right, 2 more. My common denominator, 2y. Combine like terms. So I have 2x minus y from here. But now, these 2, this is a big deal. I'm going to put 2 stars. This minus is minus the entire fraction. But when we work inside a problem, I think of it in the numerator always. So in my head, it's like there's a parenthesis. I have to subtract the entire numerator. So I get minus x, but this minus changes that must to a plus. That's a big deal. Everybody has to understand how I got or why that's a plus. Then you just do your thing. Combine like terms. So I'm going to get 2x minus x is just going to give me x. Minus y plus 6y gives me plus 5y over 2y. Then I do think a little bit, can I cancel the y's? And the answer is no, because 5y is a term, I can't take out a piece of it. All right, last one. We have to do the last one with same denominators. So I look and I see, first of all, it's addition, subtraction of fractions. I see I have the same denominator, so I put it down. X squared minus 4x minus 12. I combine like terms, so I have my 7x plus 5. This is minus this entire fraction. So when we're working inside a problem, I consider the minus in the numerator. So in my head, there's a parenthesis. So now I get minus 6x, and this minus changes this to minus 11. That's a big deal. Tons of people get that wrong. So now I combine like terms. I have 7x minus 6x. I'm going to get an x. I have plus 5 minus 11. I get minus 6. Divided by x squared minus 4x minus 12. So the process is the same. I put my common denominator down. I combine like terms. Then I look at my answer always to see if there's anything else I can do, which means can I cancel or factor. I can't cancel because I have terms. Can't cancel the 6 with the 12 or this x and this x squared. But I look at my denominator, that's a trinomial. So I can factor it. Or I check to see if I can. Minus means it's plus minus. I need two numbers that multiply together that give me 12. 1 times 12, 2 times 6, or 3 times 4. I want a pair that if I add or subtract, so it's 1 times 12, 2 times 6, or 3 times 4. I want to know which pair, if I add or subtract, do I get a 4. Gotta be 6 and 2. I have different signs. It matters where I put it. I take my 6. The bigger one goes with the sign of the middle term. I still should check by FOIL. X times x is x squared. This 6x plus 2x does give me minus 4x. I get minus 12. So now I have x minus 6 divided by x plus 2 times x minus 6. So now I have to decide, can I cancel my x minus 6's? If they're factors, I can. If they're terms, I can't. This is all stuck together as a factor. This is stuck together as a factor. I can cancel my x minus 6's. Then, after all that, is my answer x plus 2? No, because I'm really getting ones. So, a denominator stays a denominator. So, my answer is 1 over x plus 2.